Mark and Paulette here, the two travelers in Mexico, and today we're going to talk to you about some of the things that it's very difficult to find here in Mexico as far as shopping.
And
items.
why are we going to talk about this?
Because we put it out there, and a shout out to Gringos R Us. They gave us the idea to do this video, so that's what we're doing.
Because we didn't have anything. It's hard to prepare every week, it really is, to talk about different things, especially when you're busy during the week, and then all of a sudden you realize, tomorrow's video day. What are we going to do?
All right, so what is the first item we're going to talk about?
The first item for me is Paul Diarco Tea. Many of you might not have heard about it, but it's really difficult to find. I can't find it anywhere in Mexico. Health food stores, vitamin stores, all that stuff. Cannot find it anywhere. So the next best thing that I have to do is I have to ask one of my friends to mule it in for me. Please.
Yep.
And so they're so kind enough to do that for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't take up a whole lot of room. You know, there's, I think, 18 tea bags or something to a box. You can just kind of put it in a baggie and scrunch them up and good to go. Before we told you guys about this perfume, it's from a company called Dossier. And they sent us 2 more perfumes. And I picked these because Mark doesn't really wear aftershave. So I think he's got one, and oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? That's the alarm behind us. Thank you, Jesus. Hopefully it won't go back on. Anyhow, let me finish this up real quick. This one's called Fruity Magnolia. This one's called Amber Orange Blossom, and they both smell really nice. And it's in 1.7 ounces. And what they are is that they're basically knockoffs of other expensive perfumes that most people can't afford, but they really smell good. And of course, whenever I wear a perfume, I can never smell it once I have it on. At first, I could smell it, but after that, I can't. But it's nice because the other day, Mark said, "Oh, you know, it smells really nice. What are you wearing?" And I told him which one I was wearing. And it was the Fruity Magnolia.
And that was hours after you.
That was hours after. And then when we did our video, when we were in Hidalgo, one of my friends, Annie Vet, wanted to borrow some of my perfume because she smelled it on me. So I let her use whatever perfume that I had at the time with me. But it's funny because I don't have the whiffer that keeps smelling it all day long, and I don't know if anybody else has that problem. But they do say that these perfumes last, and they obviously do if other people are noticing it hours later. Just not you, but yeah. So we wanted to do a little spiel on that since, you know, I like them.
They're shipped right here in Mexico. And like, the 4 that Paulette's gotten have been really good, really nice smelling.
Yeah, now on the bottom it says New York, New York.
That's the parent company, but they have a distribution point in Mexico City.
Maybe the parent company then is 13 Secrets Inc.
Maybe.
That's what it says.
I kind of like
4 World Trade Center, New York, New York.
I'd like to know what the 13 secrets are now that you mention it.
I don't know. What's next on your list?
Next on my list, not that I eat a lot of candy bars necessarily, but it's called the 1,000 Grand Bar.
I thought that was mine.
Well, I stole it from you.
Okay, it's really good if you've ever had them. Super yummy.
Yep.
Can't find them here.
Very good. I will say that for a while, it did take me a while to find Dr. Pepper and root beer here, but I am finding it in certain stores, so that's good. Stores like, you know, H-E-B, which are pretty prevalent here, but they originated in the southern part of Texas. They carry a lot of the brands that you would recognize from shopping in America.
They have different, you know, brand names to them, but I think the Dr. Pepper is still the Dr. Pepper, though. Yeah. But the root beer is like the H-E-B brand, whatever that is. Yep. And it's pretty darn good.
It is.
Yeah.
Very good.
Another thing for me, talking about candy, because I got the sweet tooth, is hot tamales and what are those called again? Red Hots.
Red Hots, yeah.
I used to love those as a kid, and I still love them as an old lady. One of my favorites, just to, one at a time, because I can't do real hot, but I do like them. Can't find those anywhere here in Mexico, so, either we have to bring them back with us, or we just forget about them and move on to something else, or don't eat candy, or go to Costco and get whatever candy they sell there.
Yeah.
They do sell like Hershey's. They do sell like that.
You can get Milky Way and Snickers and
Milky
stuff
Way,
like that.
Snickers, Kit Kats.
Yeah. And there is a store here, at least in San Luis, and I think it's another part of Mexico, called Gringo Loco. And all they do is sell sugary stuff, like children's cereals, candy bars, different sodas and stuff.
They sell like Mountain Dew in different flavors, like Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms, cereal that you really will not find here at all.
Every time I go into that store, I feel my glucose level rise, even though I haven't eaten or drinking anything.
But it's pretty expensive too. Like you get a small, those small cereal boxes, about that big, for like 10 US dollars.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy on their prices. Mark and I walked into one at the El Dorado Mall here, and it's not a big store by any means. It's not a real big selection, but for I think the locals that want to try something that they don't have here, and they're willing to pay the price.
Yeah.
And maybe people from the United States that want their fix of whatever for that day, if they want to spend it, then go for it too.
Your kids will think it's heaven inside that store.
Yeah.
They just sell all basically what we would call junk food.
Well, no, I think they sell other stuff too. I think they sell certain chips and things like that. Like they sell a lot of the different Pringles.
Right.
I think, stuff like that.
Still junk food.
Well, but it's not sweet junk food, it's salty.
That's true. So, what's next on the list?
Is yours. Yours is next on the list. Crunchy peanut butter.
Crunchy peanut butter. Exactly. Now, I have found it very sporadically here, but rarely ever do I find it. All the stores all the stores sell smooth, creamy peanut butter, but rarely do they sell crunchy peanut butter, including the Costco's here, unfortunately. So that's been a bit of a struggle for me to find.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you either need to bring in from the States when you make your return, or when you're moving here, load up on 6 things of peanut butter, something like that. One of the things I did when we moved here is I loaded up on several of my organic spices that I like to use, that I used to get from, what store was it? Sprouts. Another thing that I loaded up on was my organic ketchup. I am a ketchup fiend. So yeah, I loaded up on like 12 bottles of ketchup. It's been 3.5 years, and I'm down to my last bottle now.
Down to her last bottle. Costco sometimes carries the organic ketchup, sometimes they don't. We haven't seen it in there lately, but...
And when they did carry it is when I didn't need it, but hindsight, right? I should have just bought it.
Right.
I didn't. Now I have to wait if they ever get it again.
Costco's here are like they are in the U.S. Sometimes they'll carry a product for a while and then discontinue it. There's another product that Paulette likes. It's the carrot juice.
Oh, carrot juice.
That Costco sometimes carries, sometimes doesn't. So it's just
and it's interesting though, on the carrot juice is in the States, they sold a 3-pack of the carrot juice. Here it's a 2-pack.
2-pack.
For about the same amount of money.
Yeah. So.
Another thing is at Costco is that it's called Kinder's Teriyaki Sauce. Really, really my favorite. Can't buy it here at all. And again, I brought several bottles with me when we came down, just in case. And I'm glad that we did, because they don't sell it here.
Yeah. And you ran out of it a while back.
I ran out of it a while back, yeah.
So,
and I've tried other ones that they sell, but not quite the same. But you know, you got to do what you got to do.
yeah.
What
So,
else?
is that the last of the grocery shopping stuff? I mean, a lot of the stuff you can find here, you just have to be willing to look for a substitute or a name brand that you're not familiar with.
Right, that's true.
And another helpful hint we've discovered is if you're in a restaurant and a Mexican says, you know, poquito picante, thank you. For that, it means it's going to be much hotter than you think it is. I mean, I can handle it. For Paulette, even the slightest bit of picante is like a 5-alarm fire in her mouth.
Well, you know, talking about picante, one of the things that I really miss, and you may hate me for it, you may love me for it, people are like 50-50 on the fence, was Taco Bell. I'm not going to find a Taco Bell here, I know that, but I used to like their bean burritos, and I used to like certain things that I would get there. However, the Taco Bell mild taco sauce was my favorite. Favorite.
Yeah.
Now, I did buy a bunch. Mark and I think when we went back to the States to get my carload of stuff, I did ask the Taco Bell lady if I could have like a bag of the sauce because I lived in Mexico and I can't buy it there. She was kind enough to give it to me. But since then, I think it's gone off. I've thrown it away, whatever.
Yeah.
But I haven't found anything compared to my Taco Bell mild hot sauce that I really like.
Now, I will say that I ate at Taco Bell a lot during lunch when I was working, and that's probably the reason why I've lost like 30 pounds since living in Mexico, is I don't eat at Taco Bell anymore.
Well, I don't either. How come I haven't lost? Guys always lose weight before women. I could do exactly what Mark does. Eat the same things, and I won't lose. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, on another note, we wanted to talk to you about pizza in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, pizzas in Mexico, they don't really put tomato sauce on the pizzas, which is probably the favorite part of the pizza for Paulette. She likes a lot of tomato
I like a lot
sauce.
well, I like ketchup, right? I like a lot of sauce.
And if you do ask for extra sauce on your pizza, they generally just give you a bunch of ketchup packets to spread it on. However, there have been a couple of exceptions, surprising exceptions at that. The Little Caesars pizzas and the Domino's pizzas are fantastic here, whereas they were awful in the States. But they're fantastic here. And they put a fair amount of sauce on it for you.
And they put a fair amount of sauce. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, every time when we have ordered a pizza and I ask them for extra sauce, I just get a handful of ketchup packages.
Yeah.
Not the same on pizza. I do like my ketchup, but I do have my limits, okay?
Yeah.
That's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
What's another topic? Another topic is pastries.
Pastries, that's right. Now, you can find pastries everywhere here in Mexico. There's shops everywhere that are just dedicated to selling pastries. However, they are almost always very dry.
Very dry.
Very dry here. Now, we have found a couple places that we like in San Luis that make a moister pastry, but 95% of the places you're going to go into, the pastries are going to be very dry.
Very dry.
Which is unfortunate for us. But
it's almost like I would say like two-day-old pastries is what it tastes like to me.
Yeah.
Where I'm used to in the States, fresh, you know, really moist.
Right.
Although we're lucky enough to have a place in our community where a gal comes in, I think it's like 5 days a week, maybe 6 days a week. She's here in the late afternoons, and she sells her pastries, and she has many different varieties, and they are really moist, really, really good. My favorite is like a, what would I call it? Like a cinnamon roll is what it is. And Mark's is the conchas.
The concha.
Yeah, he likes those.
So, I mean, we're not saying that the pastries that we buy are 2 days old. I think that's just the way they prepare them, fairly dry.
No, they're just that dry is what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, you know that if you're going to go to a bakery or buy bread that's 2 days old, you're going to get a discount, but it's going to be a little bit not on the fresh side.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. Not that it's not fresh, it's just it's dry.
Yeah.
Really, really dry. And we have been here for 3.5 years, and I just can't adjust to it. I'd rather go without, put it that way.
Yeah.
Although there are some places that do make pretty good cakes.
Yeah.
And I love flan. Mark, not so much.
No.
So there are places that make the flan very good. And I'll get that. That's another one of my favorites that I like. But there are bakeries where you can get nice moist cakes and nice moist pies if you'd like. But it's just the pastries themselves is what I'm talking about. The donuts, if they do have like cinnamon rolls that they sell, or what are those ones called that are the layered eclairs?
Eclairs, yeah.
Or like how they're stuffed like with custard, like custard, yeah. And some of them do have it with custard, but it's not the same kind of custard.
Yeah.
You do have to make your adjustments, that's all. And I'm not complaining, although it sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'm just explaining that there are differences that you're going to find.
Right.
And one other thing, though, that our first time when Mark and I went to Spain, that's when we found out about pizzas. In Spain, they did not have any tomato sauce there. And then moving to Mexico, they did not have any tomato sauce here.
So a couple other things that I just thought of that I want to mention. Cheese here in Mexico, it's very salty here, and it's probably more salty with the cheeses that are produced in Mexico, of course, like the Oaxaca cheeses and stuff like that. But in general, I find it's more salty here. Also, much to my disappointment, I have not been able to find sourdough bread here either, which is another one of my favorites.
Hey, your watch is right there.
Uh-oh.
Don't let your Fitbit fall down and break.
My watch has become discombobulated.
Yeah, sourdough bread, I think is hard to come by too.
Yeah.
Although Gina did post that she made some English muffins, so I asked her for the recipe, and she posted it on her Facebook page. So thank you, Gina, for that one. I don't know where I'm going to find the sourdough though here. I mean, I don't know. I saw that you posted the recipe. I haven't looked at it detail by detail, so maybe I make it. And one of my house guests did leave me some sourdough.
A sourdough starter.
That she left me, but it's been used and gone, and that's that.
Yeah.
You can buy cheese here.
Yeah.
You can buy cheddar. You can buy Monterey. You can buy stuff like that. You're going to pay a little bit more for it. It's very good. What else is things that you can't find here in Mexico? You can find, people always ask when they come to Mexico, what do I need to bring? There's a truck that's going by right now. And they're like, what do I need to bring to Mexico? What can't I buy there? Well, I ended up bringing more stuff than I needed because I wasn't sure whether I would be able to buy it here. But for the most part, you can buy, good pots and pans. You're going to pay for it, but you can buy it. You can buy laptops and electronic and cell phones, but you're going to pay a little bit more for it here. You can buy good knives. You can buy, Vitamixes. You're going to pay a little bit more for it. But you can just about find all the household things that you're going to need here in Mexico if you don't, want to bring them and you're just bringing, 2 suitcases each or whatever, and everything else has been sold off.
Yeah, and even the food items, if you can't find like the specific name brand food item that you're looking for, usually there's a substitute. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to talk about. There's for people who like to shop at a store like Whole Foods, they do have stores like that here too, like La Comer Fresca is pretty similar to a Whole Foods in the United States.
Yeah, it's kind of pricey. If you guys are familiar with a Whole Foods or a Sprouts, they're kind of expensive stores. They carry a lot of imported items, and you're going to pay for those items, but you'll be able to find them there.
Yeah.
We usually don't shop at La Comer because it is pretty pricey.
Right. Right.
You know, we've gotten a couple of things there. I think we've shopped there twice, maybe 3 times.
Three or 4 times.
Shoot, and I had something on my mind I was going to talk about before you brought that up. What was it?
Time out.
Well, you know how it is. You got something and then somebody else
Yeah.
says something, and
Yeah.
then that thought, you get focused on that thought, and that thought's gone.
That's okay, Nemo.
I don't remember what it was, but like I said, on the most part, you can find many things that you do like. And if you have any questions and you're moving to Mexico, ask on the, expats in Mexico site. There's so many Mexican sites. Another thing that we want to talk about is the milk. Now, Mark and I, we buy this organic milk, and we'll show you a picture of it. We buy it at Costco because we buy them 12 at a time, and that's how they come packaged. But the color is a little bit different. It's got more of a tan tinge to it than the milk that we're used to in the US. And it also took a little bit of adjusting to get used to.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because it's on the shelf and it's, there's a difference between pasteurized, unpasteurized. I'm not real sure on all that, but it does taste a little bit different.
Yeah.
And even my son had noted that when he was out here. He says, "Oh, your milk tastes funny." And it did to us at first, but 3.5 years later.
Right. And to be clear, this is the milk that you don't have to refrigerate until you open a bottle.
Right, that's what I said.
Right. So, okay.
And one other thing I was saying, like that Kinder teriyaki sauce that I used to buy at Costco, and I bought like 6 bottles with me when I moved here, but they're gone in 3.5 years. Now I have tried different teriyaki sauce here in different stores. However, they do have a little kick to them, a little spice in there. So it's not like teriyaki sauce I'm used to, which is just straight the teriyaki sauce flavor. It's got teriyaki with like a little bit of picante in it.
Yeah.
So it is a little spicy. Some are spicier than others, which he doesn't mind.
I think in general, though, the things that you buy here tend to be a little more picante or spicier than what they are in the U.S. At least that's that's what I think anyway.
If you guys ever have suggestions on what you would like us to do videos on, just put them on the YouTube comment section or put them on our Facebook page too. We're more than happy to talk about different issues, because after 3.5 years we start running out of stuff to talk about. And then in that moment we say, "Oh, let's do a video about da 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 da." Yeah, that'd be great. Well, both of us, right? Forget by the time that we go to do another video, because we might have like 2 videos, 3 videos already lined up what we're going to be talking about. That 4th one, by the time that one comes around, we've totally forgotten.
And we've been here like 3.5 years now. A lot of people that are watching this video are probably thinking of moving to Mexico or in the planning stages. And so if you have questions about how we personally handled that, and go ahead and let us know, and we'll be happy to cover that subject again too. We did talk about that quite a bit in some of our earlier videos,
which were horrible. I hope we've improved since then.
Admittedly, the sound quality and the editing and video quality probably isn't great. Hopefully, we've made some improvements in those categories.
Right. But we do give some insight to that. But I'm always willing and ready to talk to subscribers when they private message me about questions that they have. Always. So don't feel like you're bothering me. Mark, maybe you're bothering him. I don't know.
No.
I don't think he gets the questions that much. But yeah, feel free to go ahead and, like we said, ask on YouTube, leave comments on YouTube, any upcoming videos you want us to talk about, that you have some interest in or you want to know more about. You know, and you know, people have suggested, you got some on your shirt right here.
Yeah.
People have suggested that we do like a live interaction. We've talked about it, we just haven't done it yet. So
My
I don't
fear
know.
is that we would start a live and there would be no one listening.
Maybe
or
I
watching.
think that's our fear.
Yeah.
Is that we wouldn't really have anybody tuning in.
Yeah.
I know we did that one with John that
Pedrosa,
time.
Yeah, with Pedrosa Travel.
And there was some technical difficulties
Yeah.
on that, and there was, I don't know, like maybe 100 views off of it. And I think after that, it really put the fear of God in us to really
Yeah.
think about doing
Yeah.
something like that. Now I know everybody else is successful at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gringos R Us do it, Tangerine Travels does it. But anyhow, they do live, you know, interaction chats
Mm-hmm.
and answer questions. So if that is something that you do want us to do in the future, let us know who'd be interested and who would really watch it, so we wouldn't have 0 people
Yeah.
watching, because that's my biggest fear,
So
really.
we're not just sitting there like a couple of goobers in front of a camera with
Yeah,
no one else
with
watching.
no comments, like nothing
Yeah.
here coming in. That would be so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me if we decide to do that. Please don't.
So
So anyhow, from the 2 travelers in Mexico, as always,
what she did.
bye guys.
Bye.